Welcome to the program presented by YTV Source. This is me, your host Sarala Karki. On today's episode, we'll be talking about intellectually handicapped people who are less prioritized by the policymakers and government and are also neglected by the society. We will also be talking about Association for Welfare of Intellectual Handicapped, a non-profit making organization devoted for the people who are intellectually handicapped. The concept of intellectual handicap is complex, and the estimates of various pocket studies vary. The study by Marinoll Fathers indicated about 4.9% of the population having intellectual handicap. Another study showed that about 12.4% of the population out of 100% from 8 districts were found disabled. This study has determined 2 types of mental retardation. They were moderate and severe intellectual handicapped. It was found that the severely retarded people were dependent on others, and the moderately retarded people were able to manage their daily activities by the help of training provided to them. Their status was determined by their ability to eat, dress, and taking care of their personal hygiene and to go to the toilet by themselves. The failure to acquire the ability to perform activities or to learn new tasks as per the person's age and the environment due to delayed mental development prior to the age of 18 years was classified as intellectual handicapped. As per the report, it was estimated that there are 7,20,000 of intellectual handicapped people all over the country. The term intellectual handicapped is used sustamanasthiti in Nepal. Even today, most of the Nepalese are unfamiliar with their condition of people. Poverty may be the prime cause of intellectual handicap among the people. Still, people get confusion with dumbness and deafness. In Nepal, Human and National Development Service (HANS) was the first association to carry out a study on intellectual handicapped people. It has established first daycare center in Nepal. It was affiliated with the Marinoll Fathers and Brothers in New York, USA. From that time, service centers, though very small in number, have been established in different parts of the country, and this process of opening new centers is likely to continue. Talking about gap analysis, due to lack of information and services, intellectual handicapped persons are excluded from the society as well as their family relations. Most of the family members practice to treat by traditional healer to recover the child because of family belief with traditional healer. Most of the families are affected from these problems are also unaware about it and facing problem to manage and receive the service for the intellectual handicapped people. The family members also want to hide the problem to maintain their status in society and always misguide to manage the handicapped people. Association for Welfare of Intellectual Handicapped, which is a non-profit making organization working for intellectual handicapped, tries to create awareness about intellectual handicap to the parents and guardians of intellectual handicapped people in community level. Beside this, Association for Welfare of Intellectual Handicapped also disseminate the message and information about the existing services to intellectual handicapped, government policies, and advocate creating the environment for intellectual handicapped people and family to live in community with their dignity. Intellectual handicap is an age-old problem which has drawn more little attention in Nepal. Due to ignorance and unawareness, illiteracy, fear in supernatural power, etc., the common attitude of people towards the intellectual handicapped has been to bypass it as the curse of girls for the wrongdoing in the past life. Very few persons thought it to be the result of some disease or accident. An intellectual handicapped person was thought to be an stigma to the family. Society looked down upon the intellectual handicapped person and their families and hated them. As a result, families felt humiliated and tried to hide the intellectual person from the society as long as they could. Many of the intellectual persons, particularly those belonging to poor families, made premature deaths due to lack of knowledge about the diseases. We'd like to salute Mr. Syam Karki and his family members for their efforts in the field of intellectual development. Now let's talk about the person who had an idea to establish Association for Welfare of Intellectual Handicap. It was Mr. Shyam Karki's long cherished dream to establish an ideal association for the welfare of intellectual handicapped. Mr. Shyam Karki is the chairperson of the organization. Mr. Karki had been actively involved in the field of social work since 1979 AD. After establishing Association for Welfare of Intellectual Handicap, he plunged into the service of humanity. He initiated setting up Association for Intellectual Handicapped so that it could support them fulfilling their needs. For making this possible, Association for Welfare of Intellectual Handicapped is running daycare center for intellectual handicapped people since its establishment. Apart from daycare, Association for Welfare of Intellectual Handicap conducts a wide range of activities like counseling, parent and guardian meeting, and home visit programs on handicapped issues. He made it possible with his firm determination and unprecedented leadership. Mr. Karki has initiated working with intellectual handicapped in Nepal. His wife, Mrs. Rasmina Karki, daughter, Ms. Hasina Karki, two sons, Mr. Himal Karki and Mr. Asutosh Barsingha Karki, are also providing services for humankind. Besides, Mr. Shyam Karki has a sister who is intellectual handicapped, who has now even been blind, is also supporting Association for Welfare of Intellectual Handicapped at her effort. So far, Mr. Karki is involved in many more social organizations directly and indirectly, like NGO Nepal. His previous involvements were in Nepal Integrated Development Society NIDS, Society of Sunkosi Indravati, Nepal Red Cross Society, Joy Foundation Nepal, Child NGO Federation of Nepal, Sri Siddhi Ganesh Mental Retardation Center, Nepal Dyslexia Center, National Children Fund, Child Rights Protection Center, Paropkar First Aid Center, and many others. He also worked as the Founder General Secretary at Budo for Disabled Kathmandu. He also worked as the Founder General Secretary at Judo for Disabled Kathmandu. This association taught judo for blind people, which was introduced first time in Nepal. In 2011 AD, Mr. Shyam Karki has started Youth Broadcasting Service YBS and Media Majeri as a program production house which follows the thematic objective communication for community. It has tried to render its services at an affordable cost for facilitating community and its well-being following public-private partnership PPP modality. Youth Broadcasting Service YBS also aims at establishing youth TV that will produce programs which will be for community development. Besides, Mr. Karki has also expanded his business in the field of education, trading, and travel and tours. However, he always prioritized community and its service as a prime concern. We wish him best of luck for all his future endeavors. Thank you for watching our program. You can send your feedback at info@ytvnepal.org. Thank you.
गतिसँग हैन सुरक्षासँग प्रतिस्पर्धा गरौँ। बाटो काट्दा जेब्रा क्रसिङको प्रयोग गरौँ। गाडी चालकहरूले पैदल यात्रीलाई प्राथमिकता दिउँ। रातो बत्ती बलेको बेला बाटो काट्ने गरौँ। जथाभावी बाटो काटेर दुर्घटनाको समाचार नबनाऊ। आकाशे पुल प्रयोग गरी सभ्य नागरिकको परिचय दिउँ। दमकल एम्बुलेन्सलाई प्राथमिकता दिउँ। पैदल यात्रीले फुटपाथको प्रयोग गरौँ। ट्राफिक चिन्हको जानकारी हासिल गरौँ। गाडीमा झुन्डिएर यात्रा नगरौँ। अरूलाई बाधा पुग्ने गरी सवारी पार्क नगरौँ। मादक पदार्थ सेवन गरी सवारी नचलाऊ। सवारी चलाउँदा मोबाइलको प्रयोग नगरौँ। सवारी चलाउँदा अनिवार्य सिट बेल्टको प्रयोग गरौँ। साइरनवाला गाडीलाई प्राथमिकता दिउँ। ट्राफिक नियम पालना गरौँ।
अधिकार खोजौँ तर आफ्नो कर्तव्य पनि पालना गरौँ। युवा प्रेरित कार्यक्रम टेलिभिजन मार्फत प्रसारण गर्नु परेमा हामीलाई सम्पर्क गर्नुहोला। युटिभी सोज फोन नम्बर 47845355 बुद्धनगर काठमाडौँ। सामाजिक उत्तरदायित्व निभाउने, धर्म र संस्कृतिलाई संरक्षण गर्ने, कल्याणकारी सूचना निःशुल्क प्रसारण गर्ने, जनसेवा प्रसारणको अवधारणा अनुसार टेलिभिजन स्टेसन सञ्चालन हुँदैछ। युथ टिभी कमिङ सुन।
स्वस्थ व्यक्तिले पनि अङ्गदान गर्न सक्दछ। अङ्गदान गरौँ, आफू पनि बचौँ, अरूलाई पनि बचाउँ। मृत्यु पश्चात गरिने अङ्गदान वीर हस्पिटल र आरोग्य प्रतिष्ठानमा उपलब्ध छ।
स्टुडियो, एडिटिङ, टेलिभिजन कार्यक्रम निर्माण, डकुमेन्ट्री, प्रोफाइल वा विज्ञापन प्रसारण सामग्री निर्माण गर्नु परेमा हामीलाई सम्झनुहोस्। युथ ब्रोडकास्टिङ सर्भिस, बुद्धनगर काठमाडौँ। मोबाइल नम्बर 9840 21 34 38, 9850 82 240 र 9850 72 057।